Good evening, boys and girls. It is currently 14 past the hour, which means it is time for Boys Incorporated. We're your hosts, Rick.
I'm Akira.
And these are the boys.
I'm Bryson.
I'm Thatch.
I'm Klovas.
So this is a podcast of a bunch of high school boys just talking about whatever we want every single week. So our first segment today, we're going to be talking about the new Xbox and the PS5 coming out. So
I don't think there's a point to.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah,
it does the same thing. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So like when the Xbox 360 came out, and then or like when the Xbox One came out, the Xbox 360, the format of it was completely different. But the new Xbox uses the complete same interface as the Xbox One.
Yeah, I don't see a point to it. Are they even doing like cross-platforming?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure you still play with other people on Xbox.
Well, I'm saying like between PS5 and Xbox.
Like, I don't think so.
Are the gaming like companies still are they going to do that? Or is
I don't know. And like, what about your Xbox One discs? Do they work on the new Xbox?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
Both Xbox One and Xbox 360 games.
And
then
they
work on the new one.
Well, then like the only reason I get it is if like you could only get Cold War on it, but you could get Cold War on Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I'm getting Cold War.
Well, and it's $10 more to get the cross-platforming version of it, so you can play it on the Xbox One and Series X.
That's really not bad. That's not a bad idea. So you don't. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like I have the S, so it's like not super outdated.
Yeah.
There's that first Xbox one that's huge.
That's what I have. I have
that one.
Yeah.
It's massive. Yeah. It's beefy.
You know.
Well, with how much I play too, I'll just hop on like BO3 or Rocket League every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably play it.
And they have that new one too. They came out with the Series X, and then there's that like slimmer one with like the big opening on it.
Oh, the slimmer one.
One Series S, I think.
Yeah, that one.
Series S.
Well, that's the one that I'm pretty sure you can't. It doesn't have the disc reader.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what were those photos of the smoke coming out of the Series X?
See, I haven't even heard about that. I have literally paid no attention. I thought I'm going to be honest, I thought the Xbox and the PS5 are coming out next year. I didn't know they're coming out.
I just heard like people
had
had it. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, no, I saw people post on their stories like with the PS5. I'm like, wow, I thought those were coming out 2021, not 2020.
Well, so I heard that they have a fridge. That's the new Xbox.
That,
it's really like a fridge, but the new Xbox.
Well, so they made that because like PlayStation players were making fun of how it looks like a fridge.
Yeah.
So they just made a fridge.
Yeah, that thing's huge.
And like the PS5 looks like a router or modem, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it is cool looking, but
the PS5 is huge, man.
Yeah, I saw it.
Looks
Cool.
It looks nice. I think the Xbox One looks, or the new Xbox, whatever. What's it even called?
The Series X.
The Series X. I think it looks pretty slick, but I mean, it's
I think it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. The original PS5 snapshot they came out with was hideous.
Yeah.
It looked like a Roomba. Like, it just looked terrible. But the new one, I think, looks good. But I don't know.
I think visually the Xbox is better looking.
Yeah. The controllers are like I heard like you can like feel it.
The PS5 controllers are pretty cool.
Like you move something like you can like feel it move forward in your hands. If that makes sense. Like a thrust.
I don't know.
I don't know. I saw on the. I don't know if it was the PS5 controller, the Xbox controller though. That like for Cold War, it like has a trigger. It's like, you know, when you like shoot a gun, you know, it has like resistance on the trigger.
Yeah.
That like the controllers have resistance on the trigger. So like.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't heard that one.
I mean, it's probably not a smart idea if you're really trying to be good at the game, but it's sort of like a cool aspect.
If you look at the grip on the PS5 controllers, they have like little X's and squares, and they're kind of cool.
Yeah. So it has that touchpad thing too. Yeah. Which is
the other thing is, what's the difference between the PS4 and the PS5?
Like just graphics.
Yeah, it's literally just like they're making PC upgrades now.
Yeah.
Like
better CPU, better GPU. That kind of
it's
stuff.
faster, because the interface hasn't changed at all. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of new features they can add.
Because I feel like the only feature Xbox could add is like the touchpad, like the PS5 has.
But it's basically.
First, that's copyrighted for PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no way they don't
let
one
go. I'm pretty sure the new Xbox controller is the exact same as the other one, isn't it? They didn't change it.
Yeah, I don't think they changed it.
I think it's the exact same thing.
Well, did you also hear in India somebody tried copywriting the PS5 name in India?
Really? They already had that name?
Yeah, so it's like they had to go into like a lawsuit for it or something like that.
Wow.
So what if we like make a business right now called PS6?
Yeah.
It's just a dummy business, you know, nothing to it, but so then when they come out the PS6, we sue them.
Well, I'm pretty sure like Sony, pretty sure they won the lawsuit for it.
Yeah, I doubt.
Yeah.
17,
I'm pretty sure they put everything into getting it.
Yeah, I doubt 18-year-old kids are gonna beat PlayStation, Sony.
Yeah, that's true.
We go into like a whole thing with them.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to you too though on the way here though about Cold War, because you got it. You're the only person I know that has it actually.
It's about the same as every other game.
See, like I hated Modern Warfare. I didn't like. I like the like.
The campaign was good, but I don't know,
It wasn't bad campaign.
It was like I don't really play campaigns too much, but I feel like the Cold War campaign I looks really good to me. But I don't know.
Well,
I think Call of Duty's fell off.
Yeah, I think after Black Ops 3. See, I love Black Ops 3, but I think that sort of killed it because a lot of people hated it, so they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like 1, 2, and 3 are like the top ones.
I love.
Like, look at them. There's like so many other ones that are like so much more broad.
I think Black Ops 2 is probably one of the best ever made.
Yeah, see, like it's an unpopular opinion, but Black Ops 3 is my favorite. Cause that's just the one I played the most, and mainly because too, like I'm bigger into zombies. Like me and Bryson would play zombies so much.
Well, that also for me was the first Call of Duty game where I personally owned, because the rest of my brothers. Yeah. That was the one that I was just by myself, and I felt more into the game with it.
Yeah, I don't know. If I get Cold War, it'd literally be for the zombies, just because Black Ops 4 zombies sucked. I couldn't even play it.
I like Black Ops 4 zombies.
Really?
I didn't. It wasn't that. It
But
terrible.
how much have you played it though?
I mean, I have like probably more than a day on it, like hours wise. But
see, Black Ops 3, I have like 3 weeks on zombies.
Yeah, I played a lot of Black Ops 2 zombies.
Yeah, Black Ops 2, I probably had like 2 weeks on zombies.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
But and then the multiplayer, I think I had like a total of like almost 3 months on Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we did in middle school. But,
yeah.
Especially too, I think the biggest difference for us is once we all got cars, we stopped playing Xbox a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like the most we played Xbox this year is when lockdown first started.
Yeah.
You know, when we physically couldn't leave our house, we play Xbox. I don't know when the last time I played Xbox with Clovis was.
I use my Xbox for Netflix.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, when I first got it, like I played it all the time. Like middle school, like that's like all we did.
Yeah.
And then like so we all got cars and it was just like,
all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
What are the how much does it cost you the PS5 and the Xbox?
I think like $500.
Yeah. It's like I said it earlier, like $600 for the one with the disc, and then $500 for just
I think it's just $500.
Really?
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Oh, is it?
That's insane.
And I think the other one, like the S, is like, what was it, like 300, something like that? It was like cheaper.
Yeah, it's not as much.
Is that the one? Maybe that's the one. And
that's the cheaper one. Yeah.
Disc in it then. Okay.
Yeah.
So today's Saturday. So you guys had your last football game of the season last week, or yesterday actually.
That was Friday night. That was the last high school game for me.
And
I guess for me and
you guys.
Yeah. I mean, you played 1 year. I don't think you cared that much.
Yeah, it's not as big of an effect on you. I mean, it's still sad, but like and you played all 4 years, and you just played 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I played my junior, senior year. That's it.
Yeah.
But it still hurt, you know, because I mean, just looking back on it, it was like you're not gonna be playing another game of your life. I mean, I'm not going next level. I mean, I guess you.
I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but onto like the season, it was a rough season this year. I think there was a lot of things that was wrong. I don't think we didn't want to play this early. That was part of the problem. Is everyone wanted to play in the spring. Like we were not ready to play in the fall at all. And I think it's just we only get 2 weeks to prepare for like the season. A lot of injuries happen. Like the NFL, like a lot of the star players are out, ACL, stuff like that. So it's just like going into that and seeing your quarterback go down, he's out for the rest of the season, and just young guys have to step up. You lose a lot of fight in the whole team at that point because not a lot of people care at that point, and I think that was a key part. And so I will say, last night was probably the best game we played all year. Like the score did not show that at all.
Yeah.
But
do you want to tell them the score?
It was no.
it was a lot to a little. Let's put it that way. But I honestly think.
But I mean, they were number 2 in the state. And like that first half, I mean, we fell apart second half, but we were down by a lot, so it was kind of like bringing us down as a team. But that first half, we played pretty solid. We felt pretty confident, like in the middle of that game. But there's a certain point where it's an experience, It's just going against kids who, like, they had kids who were 6'7", and 2 of them on their offensive line. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do when your tallest guy is 6'2".
Yeah.
So that's like. This season, it seemed like it came and went. Like they dawned on you like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, because I heard what I thought was gonna happen from like what I heard from like literally everybody was it was gonna happen in spring.
Yeah, and then literally
because like you guys got in the weight room, you started practicing, like doing all the stuff to like get prepared for an actual season. They said it wasn't. You guys did nothing. I was like, all right, we're having your first game is next week, and it was like,
I remember that.
It
was like, oh, you going to the football game this week? I'm like, what? Football game?
So I was like, we're starting already?
Because it was the end of last day or the regionals of tennis is when they decided they were gonna go ahead with football for the fall, and there was I remember they were like, it was breaking down by a school district or like the conference if they wanted to play or not.
Right.
And our conference decided they wanted to play. But it was just right after that, like that following week, that Monday, they started practice. It was non-mandatory practice. They couldn't do mandatory practices until Thursday. And then that kicked in the whole thing where you're now cramming practices in because you have to get 9 practices to play the first game. And there was just a lot of things that like it just didn't go right. And then putting in a new offense, trying to get kids in positions, it doesn't work well. Because normally you have like 2 months before our first game. Putting
just
stuff in.
From an outsider's like perspective too, the morale on the team is so low.
Yeah.
You know, like even for like the Bell game, like we knew like the team wasn't hyped or anything.
No, and that was obvious the whole week, which that one bothered me a lot because it just felt like no one cared. Like even though I couldn't practice that week because I dislocated my shoulder that weekend before, but like it just felt like no one cared at that point, and it really bothered me like a lot.
That's like from sitting in the stands watching, it was like no drive. Like almost look, you know, like when the C squad and the A squad would go against each other for like practice. Like that's what it looked like, honestly. Like, it looked like a practice.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, in our city, we have the longest running rivalry football game it's west of the Mississippi.
The oldest, technically.
Or the oldest.
Because there was a point where there was like a break in between, so it can't be the longest. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But there was a fight, and it was like 1918. There was a major fight that broke out.
Yeah.
And so they had to stop it.
For like 20
years.
I didn't know that. 20 years.
Yeah.
It was like within its like first 10 years, huh?
Yeah. There was a major fight that broke out.
I didn't hear
wow.
Yeah. It's pretty.
But it's the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi. And our school's in it against the rival school, obviously. But so with the COVID regulations, what sucked, so the stadium that this football game is in holds up to like 15,000 people around. And for our student section, we were allowed 26 kids. So talk about morale being low when you have 26 people in your student section.
It's a whole different thing. Like and going into that game, it just felt like everyone had given up except for the seniors. And then even at that point, you can't win a football game with 8 kids. Like you need 11 kids, both sides of the ball, who want to play the game.
And this game is such a big part too of our town.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like this game, the night of the Bell games, what it's called, it's just like that entire side of town is just packed with cars. Like you literally can't get parking.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone. I mean, the week we have our Bell week at school. We didn't get a Bell week this year. We didn't have the Bell assembly. Is like the only assembly that kids go to. You know,
I feel like not being in school played a major part of it.
Yeah, no one.
Because like the incoming freshmen don't know what it's like. I mean, like being all seniors here, we've done it since freshman year,
sophomore, junior year, biggest part of the year.
It's Bell week. It's the Bell assembly. It's like you get excited. Like
it's literally
playing or not, you're excited for it.
Straight
just
up
that's
magical.
what it is. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know. It just this year it just sort of felt like
it didn't feel like Bell game, and I think that was part of the problem. It just didn't feel like it. So people weren't hyped up for it, and so then it was like, oh, it's just another game. Because the week before that was terrible.
Yeah.
Like all the way around. Because me and Ethan, we were out for that game, and we were just stuck. Like it was just like people like once I went down in that game, for some reason everyone just stopped. Like it was just like that was it. Like we have nobody else now.
It's been a bummer this year, especially. I mean, I don't know. It's sort of hard. Like school spirit's never really been a big thing at our school except for Bell Week. I mean, Bell Week has huge school spirit, but then other than that, like we have one of the best soccer teams in the state every year, and our soccer games get like no attendance. You know, no one really gives anything about school spirit unless it's Bell Week, and then pile on all this COVID stuff. Literally, no one cares about school this year.
Yeah.
Well, so we've gone back like from in school to online. How many times now?
Just once.
Twice.
Well,
we went.
Because we went in person like 5 weeks into the school year.
Yeah.
And then
October 1st, right, was our first one.
And then we went like for like 3 weeks, which one of them was a snow day.
What,
like
21st? October 21st? For real?
Yeah.
No way. Wow. Yeah, I got to go to 3 days of school. You got to go to what, 2?
2.
Yeah, 2.
Because football players got quarantined for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then one of the weeks that we're supposed to be at school, we had to do online because we had snow days.
Yeah, it was just.
I mean, and to this online school stuff, man.
It's rough.
I have admit, I don't know. I mean, I guess some people like it, but
I mean, it's
no one that I like hang around.
It's easier in a sense, but
it's miserable though.
Yes. I'd rather be in person seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's tough. Like, you wake up, it's like Monday or Tuesday, it's like, like this. There's nothing to do. Like, if you want to go see one of your friends, you call them, maybe go hang out with them.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of, I can see, like, Josh, Akira, Rick, and Bryson. Like, I can see you guys.
Every day.
But it's the other people that, like,
never see again.
You're like acquaintances.
Yeah.
You know. You never really get to see them.
But like your friends in school. It's like these are the friends that we hang out outside of school. But then you have your in school friends that you talk to and jack around in class.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and like you might not hang out with them very much outside of school, but you jack around with them inside school. You know, and then we're not seeing any of those people. And like I don't know, we always talk about too, like, I don't feel like going to school today. But I feel like that's sort of like, you know, there'll be times like you fake being sick because you don't want to go, but the majority of the time it's like
you want to go.
There's always there's always some reason to go to school.
Yeah.
For us.
Like even if you hate your first and second hour.
Oh, but my fourth hour was a blast.
Yeah, exactly. That's like you have
there's
that
something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no. I can't name one good thing about online school because you could say it's easy, but it's like it's
you're not
easy because you're not learning anything. I haven't learned one thing this year.
Well, that's what college is gonna be.
And it's not the fault of the teachers or anything too.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I just senior year it's a weird year. Like being thrown into a season that you didn't want to play in right away in 2 weeks' notice, and then there's basketball, and we have 3 practices before our first game starts. Basketball.
Well, my favorite part about junior year last year was like the football games and basketball games.
Yeah.
And like even the basketball games had pretty low attendance, but they were still fun because even if we only had 20 people, you know, but now even with COVID, even if we're allowed 20 people in there, it's going to be like 5 people now because no one's even going to care.
Well, it was fun to go. Like, I enjoyed going to basketball games. Like win or lose, like it was always fun. Like it was something to do.
We had nothing else to do. So
we had nothing else to do. You showed school spirit, and you got to go see your friends play. You got to see other people. It was something to do. Looking back, you never realized what you had until it's gone.
Yeah,
because like you could go to like any game. Cause how many games a week did you play?
We had like 2
for basketball.
Yeah, 2.
Oh yeah, we did.
So like 2 to 3 games a week. You never know like what would happen.
It was always something to do too.
Yeah, it was something to do. I mean, it's like it was always there as an option, and now it's like you have
nothing.
Everything. Well, right now everything's closing at 10 o'clock. You have to be home by 10, so that puts a damper on everything. But it's like you had it, and you never thought that like it'd be gone in an instant like that.
Well, I mean, our 4 years of high school, we've never really had any stellar sport teams except soccer, and still no one really watches soccer. And for like basketball, I mean, we had like the worst basketball team in the state last year. Like, no offense, but I mean, we weren't good. And like this year, our football team wasn't good. Last year, our football team wasn't great.
We were okay.
It wasn't bad, but I mean, we never went to the games because we had a dominant team.
Yeah.
We always went to the games because you guys were playing, you know, and like we used to go see our friends play, and it was something to do and it was fun.
Yeah.
And then after every game, we go eat and jack around.
You know? And that's the thing is like there wasn't enough time to enjoy it this year.
No.
Like we only had 5 games. Like normally it's 10 games. It's like and being your final season, like you want to be able to soak it in. And we never got a senior night. We never got that final moment.
Yeah,
being at Dutch Clark, going through like everything, like all the plays, all your memories you've made there, and like it's just like you didn't realize what you had until you lost it.
Yeah, it's like team dinners. That was like a major thing.
That was so fun.
That was like that's what like put you in the mood to go play the game the next day.
Well, and I think a lot of it too is like the first year for freshmen. Being all their first experiences.
They have no clue what it's actually
shapes
about.
you. You know what I mean? It shapes you, and I mean, how's it? I mean, it's even if like everything goes back to normal next year, them as sophomores, they're not going to be as good of leaders probably. You know what I mean? For the freshmen, I mean, it's just it can create a chain where it just sort of spirals down for an overall atmosphere.
Because they'll basically be freshmen as well next year, because they're not going to have that in-person experience. Like they're not going to like. Yeah, there's going to be 2 classes of freshmen, and so it just that's we different.
All right, so that got a little sad. So to sort of cheer things up a little bit, we're going to go to Bryson's fact of the week.
Okay, so obviously, when talking about animal intelligence, there's no definitive way to just decide on one animal being the dumbest in the world, but pandas are definitely up there. So you can honestly describe a panda as just a fat, useless lump. And this is honestly just because they're carnivores by nature, but they don't actually eat meat. They decided to just go on and eat bamboo. So That's why they just...
So like vegans.
Yeah. That's why they just lay around and sleep, because they don't have the energy. They don't have the nutrients. They eat all day, and it doesn't help them at all.
Huh.
Good fact, Bryson. Good fact.
Yeah. What is it, like dolphins have the brain closest to a human? Like
yeah, they're one, like
intelligence?
they are the most intelligent like animal
besides the human.
Yeah.
Yeah. And elephants are really dumb, aren't they? Or elephants smart?
Elephants they're very smart.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They're really smart.
The way they look at humans is the same way we look at puppies.
Is that true? I saw that on Instagram, but is that true?
I'm pretty sure it's true, because I've seen
it's
like
on Instagram.
Yeah, it was on Instagram. You gotta believe
it. It's like when an elephant charges, it's happy to see you.
Oh god!
Like,
you missed it. That's like if you have what if you have like a little Yorkie dog, and then you see Clovis just running after it, and then Clovis accidentally stomples the Yorkie dog.
Well, that's like, you think about like African hunters. They're like, the elephant's mad. No, it's happy to see you.
Oh, really? What, monkeys?
Monkeys are pretty smart.
Yeah, they're pretty smart. I feel like pandas aren't like stupid. I feel like
they're just lazy.
I feel like their brains are developed more than a normal animal.
They're just lazy, and they don't do anything productive.
Yeah. What about a sloth? What does a sloth offer to the bees like are annoying, and like mosquitoes are annoying, but they all like offer something to like
mosquitoes offer disease.
Okay,
sloths just kind of exist.
Yeah, right.
Like, they're like that guy.
You know what I mean? Like garden snakes, they like eat the bugs in your garden, right? And like bees pollinate. Like every like insect and animal usually has a purpose, sort of like to the overall scheme of the environment or in the ecosystems. But like, what do sloth and pandas offer?
They just kind of hang out.
Yeah. I mean, like bears, like they eat deer, don't they? Do bears eat deer, or what do they eat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, especially like wolves. Like we're a normal predator. They like it keeps the deer population from getting too high. You know what I mean? It's sort of regular. If there's no wolves, I mean, there's a million deer, and you can't have an ecosystem with a million deer. But like pandas are supposed to eat other animals, and they just eat bamboo.
Yeah.
So they keep them from bamboo getting too high. You know, I mean, man.
It'd be kind of nice to be like a panda or a sloth. Like, nobody hunts you. You just hang out all day.
Yeah, I've never heard of a sloth hunter.
Pandas are going extinct though.
Yeah, I don't know how nice it would be to be a panda.
Because they're too lazy to reproduce. Like
I have heard that actually. Now they bring that up. Yeah. Wow. All right, so for our third segment now, we're going to move on to the Q&A. So we posted on our Snapchats and had a couple people swipe up with some questions. So the first question we're going to talk about comes from Hannah, and the question is a hot dog a sandwich? Now I've heard this question a million times. Like it's
I've never heard of it.
Is water wet? You know, but so is hot dog a sandwich?
It's a very solid question.
I mean, if you think about it, yes, but at the same time, I mean, like a hot dog's a hot dog.
It's just like a long sandwich.
Yeah, like you have like a ton of sandwiches. Like different types.
Well, long sandwiches would be a submarine sandwich.
Yeah,
those are 12. Those are long.
That's
sandwiches.
true. Yeah, I don't think they are.
So I've heard the argument before that it's not a sandwich because it's only one piece of bread, but then a Subway sandwich wouldn't qualify as a sandwich.
That's true because they don't cut it all the way through.
Exactly.
Like a Philly cheesesteak sandwich from like Philly, the restaurant we go to, it's not cut completely in half. So here's the actual definition of a sandwich. It is an item of food consisting of two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal. So here's the deal: hamburgers are sandwiches, right?
Yeah, because a cheeseburger is not a hamburger. A cheeseburger, because a hamburger doesn't have cheese.
You can have a sandwich without cheese,
but by definition, it has to have cheese though.
With meat, cheese, or other filling between them. I mean, does a sandwich have to have cheese though? I don't think a sandwich has to have cheese.
But how many sandwiches do you see
peanut
that
butter
doesn't
jelly
have?
not a sandwich then?
Ooh, okay, yeah,
that's another thing.
And then but then what if you get a Big Mac then? That has cheese on it, right? But then that also has 3 pieces of bread. Is that not a sandwich
and a half?
Yeah, right? So I think a hot dog, you could define it as a sandwich, but it's just sort of odd.
I don't think you would.
Like a hot dog is a hot dog. It's
not
a sandwich. Yeah. It's not anything. It's just a hot dog.
A hot dog's an icon
because
it's not like it's. I don't think it would fit in a sandwich category because it's its own thing.
Yeah, I don't know what anything else that would be like it though. I mean, like.
But we have to decide yes or no for this.
I don't think it is.
I'd
say no.
By definition, you could, but I don't think so.
So what's your thing? You're saying no?
No.
So we all say no.
Yeah, I think we're all no here.
I mean, you could, if you want to be a real stickler about it, word for word, you could. But if you're going to go around calling a hot dog a sandwich, you're just sort of a weirdo.
Yeah, because you don't go like McAllister's and order a hot dog.
That's true. Sandwich shops. How many sandwich shops serve hot dogs?
Very little, if any.
I mean, it's just like sort of a kid's meal item. You know, like you can have some chicken tenders.
Yeah, because I don't think you can go to a New York deli and order a hot dog.
Yeah, they're definitely their own thing. Hot dogs are their own thing.
So for our next question for the Q&A, this one comes from our buddy Tay, and he asks, at what point do you consider someone a cyborg? So I think, I mean, you can have a prosthetic leg, right? And that's considered a, like, cyborg part of your body, right?
Yeah,
like,
well, because you can move it by your, like, there's some things where, like, you're, like, I've seen, like, a hand where you can still function like your normal hand. Based off like your nerves, like they're able to connect it.
Yeah,
somehow.
that's part of that's
but
cyborg,
like,
whatever it's called.
But that doesn't make sense because like you think like cyborg, that's like electric, like not electric, but like
mechanical.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a mechanical thing in your hand.
But
if you have a like, prosthetic leg,
that's mechanical.
How? Because your leg is moving it.
The way mechanical has a lot of meanings. Like this pencil's mechanical because I press that, and lead comes out there. So it's like you move your leg. And then that prosthetic leg moves in reaction to like your upper thigh movement. That's the mechanical action of that. So that's part of being like a cyborg. So what it comes down to though, like if you want to be a cyborg, you have to be at least 51% cyborg, right?
But is that like mental or physical, or is that like
how does that
work?
Together? Like for you to be a cyborg instead of a human, how do you become 51% cyborg? Because that has to do. I mean, how do you split that up? Like, would you consider a human 50% mental and 50% physical? Or would you consider them 80% mental and 20% physical? You know what I mean? So that would mean that, like, your brain would have to be, you know what I'm saying?
So let's say if you have somebody with, like, 2 prosthetic legs and a prosthetic arm.
They're 75%. Right?
But are we doing, like, physically limbs or, like, by mass? Like, there's a lot of different definitions you can take this by.
In my mind, I think the way you'd have to do it is that they would have to be at least 51% physically cyborg and at least 51% mentally cyborg. So their brain would have to be 51% like chips, and then like you'd have to have at least like one robotic finger and then 2 prosthetic limbs. Well, so then you'd be 51%.
Did you see the thing of Elon Musk with the ability to like you can listen to? He's creating a brain chip so you can listen to music in your head.
See, that's like been like I saw. That's like sounds like a Black Mirror episode almost. You know what I mean?
But it's Elon Musk, so it's something that I know he's thinking of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's like I think the next advancements are going to be like stuff like that you actually put into your head, and then it's just like updating. But then that's not going to be 51% of your brain.
No.
Yeah, I mean your brain is just neural pathways making connections like at rapid speeds. You know.
Well, I also feel like you need like a cyborg eye or something like that. It's like so many
and
different.
There's no way you lose an eye, you can't just get a new eye.
Yeah,
these have fake eyes. I think to be a cyborg completely, like from Teen Titans, you'd have to have that kind of mental thing. Cause like even him, like half his face is like robot.
Yeah, that's what, like when I think of cyborg, I think like what you're.
Yeah,
I think of like of RoboCop.
Yeah, like
RoboCop. Yeah, it's like you're actually like.
Or like Terminator. Well, Terminator's just a robot, actually.
Yeah, but like that's like a cyborg to me. Like a guy with like a prosthetic leg, that's just.
I just think he's a regular guy with a prosthetic leg. I don't think he's a cyborg.
I mean, it's because there's no electricity. There's nothing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And usually with cyborgs, like from Teen Titans Go, like that's all upgraded. You know what I mean? Now he's just a complete superhuman, but like a prosthetic leg isn't an upgrade, man. It's a replacement.
Yeah.
So.
Unless it gives you something, it doesn't have to give you something.
What's
like if you got a prosthetic leg and it gave you like the ability to jump like 20 times higher.
Yeah.
But I doubt that's a thing.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you can even be a cyborg in today's age. So cyborg, the definition is a fictional or hypothetical person whose physical abilities are extended beyond normal human limitations by mechanical elements built into the body. So just even having a prosthetic leg, you're not a cyborg. So say you're 100% prosthetic, those aren't advancements.
So let's say you had everything part of you was normal, but you had like a mechanical eye that you were able to see through walls.
Oh yeah, you're a cyborg.
So even though that's not 50% of you.
If you had a finger that could do more than a normal, if you had a finger, so what's say your average finger can lift 20 pounds by itself, okay? Mm-hmm. But you have the cyborg finger that can lift 500 pounds by itself. you're now a cyborg.
Okay,
So, if any part of your body is mechanical and it's better than normal, cyborg.
So
I don't know.
So we're
about
changing
Oh,
it from like
100%.
50%.
if like maybe if like a leg, but if like a finger, like
I mean, by
like-
this definition, you
Well,
could.
I agree with the Rick saying. I mean, like,
it has to
like,
give you something.
If you have, if your physical abilities are extended beyond
Yes.
normal,
I wouldn't
female
consider
limitations.
somebody with a robotic finger
That
a
was the same
cyborg.
exact-
Yeah, I know.
okay.
That's what I'm
What do you
saying.
think
You have to
about
have,
it,
you have to have like something more like a leg to be like a cyborg.
You're going
Or
faster.
like an arm. Or
Or you're like something that's like
you're
more like
stronger.
like
I mean,
significant.
I agree with like the finger thing because it's like that's a different ability. Like,
Well,
I
500
don't know a
pounds, that's a
person-
lot of weight.
That's
yeah,
a-
but
I mean, that's
even more than
deadlifting,
100, even if more than 100, the average person maybe can lift
like probably
maybe
20 pounds.
Yeah,
like
I'd give it
that's
20 pounds. That's
yeah.
kind of a lot.
Yeah,
It's like that ability is where I like consider him a cyborg. Like,
because
I would say like just from one eye. What's the difference between one eye and one finger?
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, one eye though, your
but
eye
one
is
eye's
a lot
different.
more than your
Yeah, that's
finger.
the thing. I wouldn't be like he's a cyborg. And you're like, oh, what does he do? He can lift 500 pounds with his one finger. But
Well,
like,
yeah,
that
but
would
I
be
mean,
Because
good.
what if you have
It's-
5 fingers? You have 10 fingers. They can each lift
Okay, but
100 pounds
but like
by themselves.
that's the thing. One pinky versus 10 fingers. I think that's like a difference.
Yeah, but I guess so. That's I guess that has to be a significant difference.
It has to be something that can make a big
Like a
change.
significant extension upon
Yeah.
human abilities. You're a cyborg. So our last question for the Q&A comes from Peyton, and she wants to know our top 3 movies. So for me, this is like stupid easy. I can name my top 3 movies.
So the name.
I can name my top 20 movies.
Okay.
No, my top 3 movies easily would be Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in no specific order. Have you guys seen any of those?
I've seen
I think
Wolf
Wolf
of
of Wall
Wall
Street.
Street.
That's
Wolf
it.
of Wall Street is a fantastic.
See, I want to watch that, but I've seen Once Upon a Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Quentin Tarantino's best movie. Better than Pulp Fiction. I'm not a Pulp Fiction fan.
That was my first Quentin Tarantino. Wow.
It's odd,
movie
huh?
I've ever-
It's odd.
It is, but you realize at the end that the whole point of it
Is being odd.
Yeah, it's character development until literally like the last 10 minutes
Yeah.
of it is like this is what it builds up to.
Every Tarantino movie is like that. Like if you watch The Hateful Eight, it is like a 3-hour movie of 8 cowboys sitting in a saloon just talking, and then the last 30 minutes of the movie is nonstop murder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so that's like my top did have to be The Conjuring, The Hateful Eight, and I don't know, probably another. I like scary movies. So I'd probably say like Annabelle or something.
you like
that.
Wolf of Wall Street a lot too.
Oh yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Wolf of Wall Street's almost a perfect movie.
Uh-huh.
And then The Goodfellas, man. You
No, I've
guys
never
seen The
seen it.
Goodfellas? It's a
Never
mafia
watched it.
movie. Oh, it's so good. What about you, Bryson?
Definitely Good Will Hunting.
That's a great
Yeah.
movie.
See, I
That's a
want to
fant-
watch that.
Fantastic.
I still want to watch that.
That's one of my top 5. That'd probably be my 4th movie on the list.
Then I'd probably have to say The Silence of the Lambs.
So I've never seen that. That's like a
That's an old one.
It's from '91, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a weird movie too.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
Yeah,
like
that's
a-
like he has like a girl like trapped in a well.
Yeah, it's
He's a cannibal. Like it's,
yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, probably The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's actually rated as one of the best movies ever.
Batman.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
a
no,
solid one.
it's-
No,
That's
it's actually
It's
like
really good.
there's I don't know if it's made by the Academy or what, but there's the top 100 movies ever made, and I'm pretty sure Citizen Kane is number 1. It's an old movie.
Oh.
It's supposed to be really good. I've been wanting to watch it, and then Pulp Fiction's up there. It's considered to be one of the best movies ever made, and then Dark Knight though I'm pretty sure is at least top 20, maybe top 10.
Wait, that's the second movie in the series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the best one.
See, I've never seen it.
It's such a good movie.
Is it?
That's
I've
a
just
really
heard
good
that
movie.
it's
Just great
fantastic.
acting.
Yeah.
Just
everything.
Well, it couldn't be done
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so have you guys seen not the previews, but like the ads of the new scary movies coming out for 2021?
Yeah.
There's it's a lot of remakes, but the better movies. There's a new Conjuring,
Oh, yeah.
a new. I can't think off the top.
See,
of my
I've never
head.
been a big horror movie guy.
I hate
No?
her movies.
I
I've
love-
never seen.
Oh,
horror
yeah.
I
movies.
love
That's-
horror movies.
We went to we have a drive-in in our town, and we were
Hate
going to go
'em.
see What is it? Pet Graveyard? What is it? Pet
Oh,
Cemetery.
Yeah,
Pet
the Pet Cemetery.
It was
Dude,
literally, it was a double feature. It was a double feature
Did
of
not
Toy
wanna
Story
watch
3 and Pet Cemetery, and
Would
Thatcher
not
would
go.
come with us.
Wouldn't go.
And then you guys went up to Springs for that haunted mansion.
Dude, I went to
remember?
Bass
And you
Pro
sat
Shop.
outside. You sat
No,
outside.
I went to Bass Pro Shop instead. I took
Yeah.
Ethan's car with the Bass
And
Pro
that thing was
Shops.
not scary at all. That thing was not
Dude,
scary.
I don't like scary stuff. I don't like
See,
Halloween.
I like
But I
old
can't blame you. I went to Bass Pro too.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
have you
I was
seen-
like,
It's Bass Pro.
what are your top 3?
So I mean, it's different when it comes to my top 3, and then top 3 best movies ever made because there's like a difference. You know what I mean? It's like what I enjoy the most versus
But
like what
it's
actually.
yours. No, like
yours.
Yours.
Okay.
What you enjoy the
It's
most.
completely your personal favorite.
Forrest Gump. I like that a lot.
That's a good movie.
I think Shrek was a great. I think.
You haven't watched a lot of movies.
No, I think Shrek was. I think it was just like a fun. I mean, because I grew up watching it like hundreds of times. So I mean, it's just kind of like engraved in my head as like one of my better movies.
Good, but I don't know if you could put it with
That's the
Forrest
thing.
Gump.
That's the thing. Yeah,
put
that's the
Shrek
thing.
on the same list as Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that don't add up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to put, but like, and I think if you've seen like the Pirates franchise, I think it's just I think it's just good because there's not many movies like it. You know, not many movies cover like pirates. Like when you think of pirates, that's the only franchise you can think of.
Well, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean runs the movies.
That's iconic. Yeah,
and Johnny Depp is just fantastic.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
I've never really been too much into it, but they're good. They're solid.
Well, like a lot of I spent a lot of time this quarantine just watching movies.
Oh yeah, I've watched
I've watched
insane amount of
because like my top 3 before quarantine is like completely different than it was after. Because right now my favorite is like it's Benchwarmers. Like I've always loved that movie. It's such a good movie.
That's a good one.
The Other Guys, which is a great movie.
The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark
I
Wahlberg?
love that
That
movie.
is a terrible movie.
I love that movie.
I watched that like a
loved
couple
it.
weeks ago because I thought it looked funny. Awful.
Okay,
There's some funny
you
parts
gotta
in
think
it.
about it, right?
Awful.
There's you and there's Josh.
Yeah, we're completely different people here. So I love
Awful
that one.
movie. I love good comedies too. You know me. That is
I
not even. Any
I
of those
enjoyed that
new
movie.
Will Ferrell comedies are terrible. Like
That was
Daddy's
like-
Home.
That was like 2009.
That one sucked.
Yeah,
That
Daddy's
one
Home
was
terrible.
crazy.
That Daddy. I'm talking like recent era.
Yeah,
like
no.
old Will Ferrell movies. Like, well, I guess what your stepbrothers made.
It was the around the same time as The Other Guys. That's that same like
Really?
era of stuff.
Because
who
Step
made,
Brothers and like Talladega Nights is great.
Yeah, I would tell you that's a great movie.
Hubie's Halloween.
That's it. Adam Sandler.
That one's
Have you ever
hilarious.
seen
I didn't
Clovis?
watch
You
that
have
one.
watch it tonight.
It's dumb. It's not.
I watched it 3
it's
times,
not-
and every
yeah.
time I did.
Have you
It's
seen?
not
have
a
you
good
seen,
movie, but it's funny.
Swiss Army Man.
That's
No,
so
dude,
weird.
no.
It's
I
so
watched
hilarious.
I watched the
It's
first. That's the one with
hilarious.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched the first like 5
I
minutes.
think it's hilarious.
I watched the first 5 minutes, and it's just his corpse farting.
Yeah, they do that though. Corpse fart.
Yeah, but not just like he's just standing there on the island, just like farting.
The thing's hilarious though. That
I was like,
that
this
movie
is
is hilarious.
Stupid.
That movie's hilarious.
Hubie's Halloween though. It's
yeah.
a funny. There's movies too that you can like. Other Guys is funny, but it's not a good piece of film.
Yeah.
Like Step Brothers though is so funny that I could go down as one of the best movies ever made.
It's like
I
Hubie's
will
Halloween.
argue
Like,
that
it's
one.
stupid funny.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not like true comedy. It's just like
Well, there's comedies like there's I don't know what you put Step Brothers in, but there's like full out comedic films, and then there's this late night slapstick movies you watch with the boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I put Other Guys with that. I don't know where you put Step Brothers. Step Brothers, everyone finds fun. I've never met someone that doesn't like Step Brothers. It's a great movie.
No, it's a solid.
Same thing like Talladega Nights, because they're stupid funny, but they're good comedies. You know, they're good writers on it. Yeah, I came out a little too hot, guns blazing when he first said Other Guys. I don't hate it that much.
Yeah, I was like, I enjoyed the movie a lot. But
Yeah. So
Like Waterboy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of a
Yeah,
good
it's a
movie.
good-
It's
No.
a good movie though.
No, it's not like
I've seen Waterboy a million times.
Waterboy's hilarious. I don't think it'd be like in the top 10 best movies of all time.
No, God, I mean it's really hard to put a comedy though in a top 10 actual films. Though.
yeah.
Because those films, man, are like
Yeah, I guess.
you can't compare The Waterboy to Godfather.
Yeah.
You know.
it's like Lone Survivor and Hubie's Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing between them.
Yeah, no, comedies are a different breed. You can't.
Yeah.
It's like comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you seen Castaway?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've heard it's great though.
That's a good movie.
That's
That's
like
a,
a classic
and that's a good.
And it's a
movie, I
mixture
guess.
of like some comedy,
Yeah.
but
Tom
it has a
Hanks
little
is
bit.
just a great actor.
Yeah.
All around.
All right, so that's all the time we have for this week, boys and girls. Stay tuned for next week when we'll have a special guest appearance, and we will talk more about deep, thought-provoking questions.